Okay, good evening YouTube. Welcome to episode number 15 of the FPL Family for this season. My name is Lee. This is Sam. Welcome along. Thank you very much for joining us. And if you were here last week, you would have heard the soothsayer herself say, the man is a liability and he is a red card waiting to happen. Sam, tell us what the feel in the stadium was like and the fans around you, without swearing, when Serge Aurier gets that second yellow card in that game of the weekend. You were there at the game. Give us the feel. What was the feedback? Not good, I'm imagining. Not good.
Nobody's surprised though, are they?
I know, that's it. When it happened...
oh, it's Aurier. What a shock.
When it happened, Twitter was like, yeah, Aurier sent off.
Yeah.
Could see that coming a mile off.
The thing is, he's just an idiot because he's just done a bad tackle like seconds before and then he pulls a guy's shirt. It's like, alright, it's soft. The second booking's a bit soft. But nonetheless, don't be stupid.
It's still a yellow though because the guy's away, right?
Don't be stupid about it. Like, you've just been booked.
And then tell me, without swearing, the feedback of the people around you when Hugo Lloris decides to Johan Cruyff turn his way away from Danny Ings.
Both of these things happen right in front of me. Both of them.
So that end, that happens, that you were sitting there watching it.
Yeah, and Hugo's just like, look at the ground.
He's just pulled his socks up.
Don't turn around and look at the fans because we're all just like,
what are you doing?
I think I saw a lot.
Actually, not the first time. Not the first time this season that we've seen Danny Ings poach a goalkeeper like that. We saw it at actually the other game you've been to live this season when Adrian his pocket got pinched by Danny Ings this season. But also not the first time Hugo Lloris has done something like that. He does like a little... He does think he's a bit fancy with his feet, and I'm not sure he is, you know.
I don't think he thinks he's fancy with his feet. I just think he thinks he's got more time than he has. I tell you what, when he retires from football, get that man on Strictly. Genuinely.
Hugo Lloris for Strictly. David James is on it right now, so
we all
could happen.
Well, we all went, it's the sleepless nights, isn't it?
It's the baby. It's the baby.
It's gone to his head.
Now we've had the baby. So, it's all gone to pot.
It's all gone downhill.
For Hugo Lloris.
But he was brilliant in the second half, so he did make amends.
He did make a couple of fantastic saves. Actually, a couple of fantastic saves. So, guys, welcome along.
I'm psychic now.
Yes, this is, you get your crystal ball out. If something you predict on the live streams on these Sunday 8 p.m. slots, something seems to come true to fruition next the following game week, which
That's what you can get me for my birthday. I'll have
a little crystal ball.
And I'll just sit here on the live streams and I'll just kind of go,
Very good. Yes, very good. And
I
to be honest,
a Yarmolenko goal. Oh, funny that. Did that as well, didn't I?
And you know what, Sam? To be honest, those predictions are being reflected in your overall rank right now, guys, which we are going to come to later on at the end of the stream when we come to talk about our teams and we talk about what our scores are on our overall ranks. I'm doing okay this season, but good Lord, you are doing absolutely fantastically well with another green arrow for Sam this week. So we'll talk about her overall rank a bit later on. We'll be doing all the usual stuff. We'll be reviewing all of the fixtures. Is it time for Vardy? Do we get him in ahead of Liverpool or do we wait for game week 9? Or do you want him?
We always said game week 9.
I know, but listen, the guy's on absolute
When's
fire.
Alisson back?
As our Leicester. When's who back? Alisson, second international break, I think. But listen, Vardy and Leicester looking very, very good indeed. Liverpool looking very, very... Oh, Newcastle were bad. Yeah, let's not talk about Newcastle too much. They were pretty bad.
42 seconds?
Possibly less for Newcastle than 42 seconds, I would suggest. Possibly even 4.2 seconds. Liverpool, for their part, very, very lucky, guys. We'll talk about that game in a bit more detail. And Everton putting in the hard yards against Man City, firing in the shots. That is the most amount of... Is it shots on target or chances conceded? I think it was the most amount of chances conceded that Man City have had under Pep Guardiola in his whole tenure. So Everton, XG was right up there. They should have scored a ton of goals, but didn't. And Man City made them pay. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Let's say hello to a few people. I'm on the wrong screen as usual. So let's say hello to a few people. Before we do, let's have a look at the questions from the polls, courtesy of the Twitter community this evening, guys. So thank you.
I was going to say, I hope they weren't supposed to be on Instagram because if they were,
you haven't done it.
I wasn't asked to. I don't think I was.
So thank you guys on the Twitter for answering my question for my request for poll questions earlier. If you're new to polls, never answered one before, head up to the white eye above my head, click on that, and you'll see 4 questions for tonight's polls. The first one comes from Mr. Pete Beswick, who I know is on this stream every now and again. So Pete, if you're on, good evening and welcome. Is it the end, Sam? Is it the end for King Mo? Is it the end for Salah? Listen, that's We don't set the questions. Is it the end for King Mo? Pete Bezic says. Jamie Dodd at JD Suka is saying, assuming you have 2 premium midfielders already, who is the best midfield? And I've put, what did I put in the question? Something like premium
Aguero
light.
twice or
No, that's we're long gone. We're past the Aguero twice. So it's terrible live polls from last week. But I put something like, who's the best sort of the next best premium? So you've got all the premium midfielders there. But
so
in that
a
sort
9
of
bracket.
Yeah, that sort of 8 million to 10 million. Who's the best? Yes.
Those sorts of players bracket.
But in the question I've put excluding KDB because...
Well, he's 10 now. He doesn't
KDB
count
is
as a mid.
10. He's going to be 10.1 any minute because
be
the
11
guy
in a minute.
is absolutely brilliant value. And if you haven't got him, guys, I think you need to go and get him. But outside of KDB, in that sort of middle semi-premium bracket... Who's the best option in there? Is it Mahrez now, who was very, very good at the weekend? Pepe, Son, or Ericsson? So, guys, getting an answer Jamie Dodd's question in the polls. Little white eye.
Funny little bunch.
Top right-hand corner.
They were.
It's a nice little bunch, that, isn't it?
Mahrez,
Pepe,
Son, and Ericsson.
Yeah, well, there we go. They're starting to emerge now, though, aren't they? Starting to emerge.
Even said Son and Ericsson are the best Spurs assets, let alone the best midfield asset.
They've got to be the twos you'd look at in midfield, wouldn't you?
Nope.
Oh, you've got a word to say about Mr. Ndombele, haven't you, a bit later on?
I have.
Yes, interesting. Okay, this is crystal ball time again with Ndombele, guys. Listen out for that. Third question comes from FPLBS, at FPL_BS. Best West Ham attacker to own, Haller, Yarmolenko, Lanzini or Anderson. Now, the Hammers looking particularly, guys, in the same way that Bournemouth do and Leicester do. There's a few of these teams now that are fighting it out for that top 6 position. Attack. They don't really care about defending a lot of time. Despite West Ham coming off the back of 3 clean sheets, didn't look as if they were going to keep a clean sheet at all against Bournemouth. And of course they didn't. Conceded the 2 goals. But going forward...
I really rate them.
Yeah, going forward they look sensational. Haller, Yarmolenko, Lanzini or Anderson. Get into the polls and answer that question. And then the final question, Sam, from Prima, HW, at Made by Prima, is the Pukki party over? Is it time to leave the party or should we party on? Those, and I think I put in the poll questions.
Did you put, shall we party on?
Party on or party out? I don't know. I was just being a stupid moment. But that's what I party on, guys. Sunday night fun. Party on or party over for the Pukki party. Get into the polls for the Pukki party. How many P's can I put in this alliteration sentence? I don't know. But get into the polls. Answer those questions, guys, and we will review them at the end of the show. So let's have a look at who is in this evening. I'm going to switch back my windows. Crackerjack is here. How are you doing, Crackerjack? He sold SALAH, Pukki, Sterling and Barnes.
What?
And Lamella for Tammy, Mount, Mane, Son and Firmino. I can't even compute that right now.
Did that even work out?
Can't even compute that right now.
The Mount thing works.
Crackerjack, get in the live chat. Let us know whether that worked out for you. I'm assuming that was a wild card. He has followed up that statement, Sam, with another comment that says, I was drunk. So I think
was it you I was talking to on Instagram? Is that your actual name?
What, when he was drunk?
No. So I spoke to somebody on Instagram.
I was speaking to Sam about it. There you go. Crackerjack. There it is.
Face to a name then. It went out on Friday night, got drunk, and FPL'd. Woke up the next morning to a totally different team.
Listen, Crackerjack, we've said it before in here. You should not drink an FPL. This is something we've said many a time, Crackerjack. Don't drink an FPL. You have only got yourself to blame, Crackerjack. Absolutely shocking. Tell us if it paid off, though. I mean, what is that? 5 transfers?
In the end. I think when we looked at it, it sort of wiped its face. But in the long term, I think it's all right. Okay,
very good. FPL Tips is here. Harry, how are you doing? Do not drink an FPL, he says, with an exclamation mark after it. Very good. Very good. Yansky is in. Yansky, how are you doing? Good evening. Bareth Barry says, FPL responsibly. FPL responsibly. When the fun stops, stop, Crackerjack, all right? That is what we're saying here on FPL Family.
I told him he's going to delete the app. He said he was going to delete the app every time he went out. I said, no, don't do that. Just log out. Every time you go out, log out. You're drunk. You'll never remember your password.
Very good. Joe Finley Badder is in. How are you doing, Joe? He's in and moderating. Good evening.
Hi,
it's
Joe.
Looking bleaker and bleaker for the Hornets, Sam, isn't it? It's looking bleak. I have to say. I was expecting a bit of new manager bounce. We haven't seen it, but it was at least a slight improvement, wasn't it? I mean, could it have got any worse than 8-0? Well, could it have got... If it was 9-0, I'd say no, but it's an improvement on 8-0, is what I'm saying. I'm trying to be positive.
Okay, all right,
Trying to be positive.
I mean, 8-0 was Man City and this was Wolves.
Okay, but listen...
Who've been pretty poor in the league.
Listen, Joe's a moderator. We want him back every week. I'm trying to be positive, Sam.
I'm sure the coach trip to Wolves was nice.
Brilliant. Right. Bryce is in. How are we doing,
a nice
Bryce?
pie.
Shalom Gesh is here. How was your pie at Spurs?
Oh my God, the pie was brilliant.
Good.
The
Did you
pie-
throw it? Did you have tempted to throw it at Aurier and or Lloris halfway through the game?
They were both lucky that I'd finished the pie before they did those things, because otherwise...
Very good.
I love those pies. I can't wait to go again for a pie.
Carl Vineyard is here in Super Chat. And hi, FPL family. Is De Bruyne a good option?
No.
Kyle. You don't waste your Super Chat with questions like that, my friend. Don't waste those Super Chats. De Bruyne is, of course, a good option.
Unless he's injured. So let's
Unless
wait.
he's injured. Yeah, have a look at that. But
I think this is just a way to get out of playing in the international.
Well,
in the
interestingly,
Champions League, isn't it?
he came off, didn't he, with about 10 minutes to go, which was an unusual substitution. Normally, you wouldn't see that from Pep. And I think De Bruyne himself came out after the game. I don't know whether it was in an interview or whether it was on social media or wherever. But I saw a tweet to say that he had said, if you follow me, that he feels fine. He feels like he's okay.
I think I'm fine.
He said, I think I'm fine.
I think I'm fine.
I'm going to go out on not even a limb and say that Pep is going to rest him for that Champions League game.
Thanks, Pep.
I'd imagine Pep is going to wrap him in cotton wool the minute he sees even a little niggle with Kevin De Bruyne. Is the minute he wraps that cotton wool on him. Surely not going to play in the Champions League.
Nah.
Which, of course, leaves him fresh for the weekend.
Lovely, thanks.
To captain him and put the armband on for it in game week 8. So there it is. FPL Chancellor Dan is in. FPL Chancellor, how are we doing? Soham Tank Sally is here. Soham, how are we doing? He says Carl Vineyard is drunk with that super chat. Hard to disagree with that. Liam Healy is here. How are you doing? 52 points this week, Liam. Much better than last week, Liam. Excellent news.
Yes, Liam, come on.
Excellent news. Very, very good. Florin Sandu is here. Michelle Deere is here. Mark Dorney. Wesi Yassa and Martin Trinky Swartz. All of you guys are in. So welcome to the live stream this evening, guys. If you're not following us on Twitter, there it is on the left-hand side, at FPL Family. I don't know why I did that. That's the left-hand side across you. Over there, guys, is the Twitter, at FPL Family. And, of course, we are on Instagram, at FPL Family. Did you do a bit of Instagramming from the stadium at the weekend? Bit of living, bit of Insta reactions?
I did, yeah.
Very good.
Do you know what's really hard? To do an Insta reaction while trying to walk out of a stadium without walking into people.
Yes, I saw that one. You were
I'm sort of like trying to get out of my row. Then there's people that decide they didn't want to get out of the row. And I was like, I'm trying to do get out of the way.
If only the Spurs faithful knew the importance
the people
of the Insta
behind
reactions.
me at one point, I think, thought I was a lunatic because I had the phone doing an Insta live pointed at the Spurs players warming up, and I was answering some questions, and they just were like looking at me as if to say, like, what is that woman doing?
What are you doing? They should have said,
hey, it's time from FPL Family.
Okay, right. Here we go, another super chat. They're coming in thick and fast this evening, guys. Thank you. Azzy, as ever, is in and joining us here on FPL Family. He says, get off Kane with Brighton and Watford now for Aubameyang, or wait until game week 9. Well, listen, Kane...
Get off Kane for Brighton and Watford?
I think that's the Aubameyang games coming up, isn't it? Or is that Spurs' next 2 games?
We're playing Watford.
You've got Brighton and Watford next.
We've got...
Have you really?
We've got Watford in game... No, we've got Watford in game week 9, 8, 9, 10. We've got Watford in game week 10.
Let's have a look at these fixtures. Let's see what Azzy is on about. We should know.
Yeah, we've got Brighton next, Brighton away. Then we've got Watford.
Yeah, Brighton and Watford.
And then
you wouldn't get off Kane for those.
And then we've got Liverpool.
Absolutely wouldn't get off of Kane right now, Azzy. Aubameyang's fixtures do look good, and have a look at him tomorrow night. But Kane, I thought, particularly when Aurier got sent off, and I'll tell you what, let's go straight to this game. Let's get straight into the Spurs game, because I thought that was a really interesting game. Let's have a look at... here we go. I've got to get my windows sorted, guys. So there's our Twitter. We've talked about that. Fixtures, Leicester 0, Newcastle 0, which was absolutely not the score. Let's do a refresh. Here we go. And 5-0. That's a bit better. The Spurs game. I've lost it.
Up, down, stop.
Yeah, thank you very much. Spurs 2, Southampton 1. A lot of character shown from Spurs in that game, in my opinion. 2-1. Well, I think it was Aurier got sent off at 1-0, didn't he? Or at 1-1?
At 1-0.
At 1-0. So 1-0, Aurier gets sent off. I thought the sending off, and tell me how it felt in the stadium, and you can therefore better answer Azzy's question about Kane. It felt to me like that galvanised Spurs a little bit. In particular, Kane took the game by the scruff of the neck, I thought. It was a bit like, we're down to 10 men. We know the importance of this game. We knew, it's almost like the team were like, we know Aurier's got a mistake in him and he's an idiot, so now we need to... No, but it felt like that, didn't it? The general feeling in the Twitter community, you're saying in the stadium... That's got to translate onto the pitch, is that Aurier has got that in him. And I think when it happened, the team were just like, right, let's just get through this now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Spurs a lot over the years, and I have never been to a stadium which was so quiet before kick-off.
Was it really?
It was just mute, and I'm sat in the wall of sound, for goodness sake, and nobody's...
The wall of sound?
And nobody's speaking.
You guys aren't really calling it the wall of sound, are you?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And it's very... It was eerily quiet, and then the players came on, and it was like... It felt very nervous for a long time, and then obviously the goal went in, Ndombele scored, and we all went absolutely doodally, and everything kind of perked up. Then Aurier happened, and it was like, oh God, like we're not comfortable enough, and the general feeling around us was we can't defend for 67 minutes or whatever it was we had to defend for, so we're going to have to play out. But the players clearly had the same idea, because all right then, Lloris did his clanger, but I thought it was
very quiet on Match of the Day. The highlights that I saw after that, Aurier and then Lloris in quick succession, it was super quiet in the stadium then.
Yeah, it was.
And that's the moment Kane, I think, took it upon himself, and Sonny with an amazing... I know he didn't get the assist in the end, it fell to Eriksen.
Yeah.
But Son made that goal, no doubt about it, with his driving, a typical Heung-min Son driving run. Eriksen gets the assist. Kane with a really, really nice finish, and it was a very, very nice finish, actually. He took that game by the scruff of the neck, and it perked the crowd up at a time when, I tell you what, I thought you really needed it.
Kane was absolutely fantastic, to be honest. I mean, and that's not even my Kane goggles on. He was the best I've seen him in a very, very long time.
Yes, he was good.
He was energetic.
Looked
he
sharp,
was running
didn't he?
around.
Yeah,
he was
absolutely.
everywhere. And do you know why? Partly why I think that was. And this is kind of goes a little bit off FPL for a second, but it is relevant because obviously we're talking about Kane as an FPL asset. Harry Winks was truly outstanding in that game. He was everywhere. Now, you wouldn't own Harry Winks as an FPL player because he's never going to score you any points.
But give me your opinion then on his fellow centre midfield player, because Harry Winks and Sissoko I thought was very good, by the way, as central defensive midfielder, and Harry Winks, I think you're right, had a very good game next to him. That seemed to, free up Ndombele to go forward in a way that was very, at certain points in that game, until the Aurier red card, because it changed the dynamic a bit. Sissoko had to go to makeshift right back, didn't he?
He did, yes.
And then Ndombele had to sort of sit in a bit more of a defensive role. But with 11 men, I thought Ndombele was getting forward in a very KDB sort of way.
And of course he got that. Honestly, I hope he's watching.
He was not just attacking and playing that forward pass to your forward players, but then he was continuing his run in the way that Son does very well, in the way that obviously KDB does very well. You've got a bit of a feeling for Ndombele as a potential FPL asset, haven't you? There's
two that I think are really good FPL assets for Spurs. Obviously, there's Kane, and I think Kane is a bit of a no-brainer when it comes to FPL. I don't need to justify why Kane's an FPL asset.
No, and he's rightly priced.
He's rightly priced, and he's just an asset in how he is. But for me, there are two others who I think are fantastic assets. One is Ndombele. The guy, as you say, he's a defensive midfielder. However, he goes at every opportunity, and at every single attack he is there or thereabouts on the edge of the box, and he has a wicked foot on him, and
Ndombele's got a nice finish on him, hasn't he? Yes.
And from where he gets to, he stands right on the edge of those boxes, and the way that we're playing at the moment, they want to play in, and that's lovely at points, but it plays directly into Ndombele's game, because you kind of get to the edge of the box, just inside the box, and it's like, oh, I've got no pass to Kane, or I've got no pass in. So then they're passing out to him. And for me, he could have scored 3 or 4. He got in that position a few times, and the ball was blocked, or it didn't go in. But the goal he scored was excellent.
6 million in the game.
At the price he is.
4.0 team selected by.
I think he's going to score a lot of goals this season.
Couple of nice game weeks worth of fixtures, as we just discussed, for Spurs. Fancy him as a bit of a jammy pick for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I do. And the other one that I really fancy is Toby. Now, Toby, I've said this a couple of weeks running now. I was watching him really closely this game, not just because I love him, but because I'm genuinely intrigued by Spurs as a defensive unit. Because clean sheets, had Aurier not got sent off, I think that game would have been fine. Actually, I don't see that Lloris would have made that mistake.
Well, outside of a howler, it's a clean sheet.
Yeah, because actually, it came in down Aurier's wing, that ball that led to eventually the mistake, and I think it was just a bit of whatever. But Toby was so far forward in most of that game. He's constantly up in the box. And when he goes up, we kept saying, come back. Like, what are you doing? He just hangs about up there in a way that he didn't last season. So last season, he and Jan would go up, they'd do the corners or whatever they'd gone up for, and then they'd come straight back. This year, he isn't. He's staying up there.
Okay.
And from an FPL point of view, a defender that stays in the box after corners and set pieces, what's not to like about that? There will be goals for him this season, I'll guarantee it.
All right, I'm not seeing it myself yet, I'll be honest. I'm not seeing it myself yet, but how much is he in the game? Is he up into the 6s? 5-5 maybe? Yeah, I'm not keen yet, I'll be honest with you. But he's a sort of player that you're never keen until he actually does something. So if you're saying that you think he's going to get something, then maybe now's the time.
The one that I think we should comment on just briefly is Son.
Go on then.
Because for me, I've really considered the Son swap, the Kane to Son swap, over the last couple of weeks. But actually, my fear is that we have a predicament this season that Poch has not ever had at Spurs. We've never had this many attacking midfield players that are doing well. Lamela was fantastic when he came on. Obviously, Mora didn't even come on, but we've got him as well. Lo Celso when he's back and ready to go. All of these players can't all play at the same time. Ali hasn't had a look in yet.
He's gone, isn't he, Ali?
No.
He's gone.
Well,
he's too busy playing FIFA and promoting the game. He's gone.
I think, but for me, as a Son owner, I'm watching that game. I would be concerned if I owned Son.
Why?
Because he went off on 60 minutes. And
that's a big call, Sam.
I genuinely think that will happen more regularly. That he will be going off early.
Right.
Because I actually thought it was the wrong call from Poch for a change, because I thought Eriksen was pretty terrible in that game. And I thought he should have gone off instead. But I would worry that Son's minutes will be tapered this year, because he's going to have to give, and rightly should give, game time to the others because they're playing well. All
right, guys, get in the live chat. Tell us if you're a Son owner and you're worried. If you're a worried Son owner, I think I've seen enough of him to suggest that he's, it's disappointing. As Sarang Jane is saying, he captained Son this game week. That's disappointing.
I don't think you could ever captain Son.
But oh goodness me, there's some big statements coming out about Spurs here, Sam. You could never captain Son. Yikes.
Because you can't
Josh
guarantee
Oram
it.
is in. I captained Son. I was really disappointed. Yeah,
Yep.
Okay, interesting. My plan is to get Son in for Salah before game week 9. And Son is also a good shout for the armband in game week 9, Rushil is saying. And in 12. So Spurs have got decent fixtures coming up. Would you hand Son the armband? Rushil says yes. Sam says no. Sam says you cannot trust
I don't think you trust the minutes.
Interesting. All right. Well, that's any words on Southampton from that game? Is it all Spurs? Is Rambo from FPL FYI right to keep Danny Ings on his wildcard team? 2 goals in the League Cup, a goal against Spurs, albeit fortuitous. No, absolutely not.
I'll tell him on Tuesday.
You're on Tuesday. You can tell him. You can tell him absolutely. Another Hoops is in. Thank you for the super chat. Another Hoops. He is saying, hello, Cantwell to Yarmolenko or VVD to Trent. Well, I think both of those are nice switches. But if you haven't got Trent yet, I think you need Trent. I think you need Trent. Only the clean sheet for Trent this game week. But listen,
I think I'm right in saying that Cantwell has got 3 home fixtures in the next 4. And Norwich, we all know, are a lot better at home. So I'd hold him for the home fixtures.
I don't know if it's 3 and 4, but they have got a couple of home fixtures coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to check.
Yeah, the Norwich fixtures do turn very much the way of Carrow Road over the next few weeks. And of course, we know that Norwich at home are a different proposition to Norwich away from home. Is that
3 and 5.
That's the case?
3 and 5.
3 and 5, okay, very good.
One of them's against Watford, so.
All right, let's talk about. I want to talk about the Chelsea game. So my 2 transfers in for this game week were Abraham and Mount. Now in this game, Chelsea 2, Brighton 0. Get in the comments, guys. Tell us in the live chat. What did you make of Abraham's performance in this game? I happen to think he actually played very, very well. He got chance after chance, big chances.
Yeah.
And I think we were sitting here week after week talking about how Abraham was a brilliant asset, but he was overperforming. There was always going to be some regression to the mean at some stage, right? He was being very, very clinical with his chances. Now, I think that's a fair point. So
I love him.
So I think we were always going to get a bit of a game week where maybe he had a ton of chances but only got 1 or got nothing. I think we've had that now. So on that basis, I'm absolutely happy to stick with Abraham. And I saw enough of Chelsea in particular, guys, who are an attacking monster right now. Attacking monster Chelsea. I think Frank's building something very, very nice indeed going forward. And at the back, a clean sheet.
I also did a Chelsea trade this week. I bought in Tomori.
Nice.
For the clean sheet. Yay! Finally, a defender that got a clean sheet. What's going on?
And clean sheets going forward. I think the fixtures look good enough. They'll keep those teams out. And Kante wasn't back for this weekend, but will be pretty soon. I think that's only going to reinforce them.
Yeah, and I think, I was disappointed with Abraham this week, but I really rate him. I think he's looked like a real talent over the last few weeks.
Full of confidence, isn't he? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I really rate him, and I'm not at all worried about him blanking this week. It's just one of those game weeks, and you get them sometimes with players. I spoke on the Ohana, so for the patrons that are listening, you'll have heard my... What would we call our Ohana this week? My tale of woe? It was basically my thought process. I just went, there you are.
Yeah. It was going to be a Game Week 7 preview, but ended up being just a Chelsea... a Chelsea
yeah,
chat.
because I really contemplated bringing in Mount this week, but I have this real gut desire to have Hudson-Odoi.
And you were really very keen on... Well, you were sort of less keen on Mount, although you did appreciate that he's a good option.
Yes, because I wanted Hudson-Odoi.
But you wanted Hudson-Odoi, yeah.
Yeah, and I've got this real gut that I need him, but I was too scared that he wouldn't play this game week.
So Ferdy Moore is saying, is Hudson-Odoi worth looking at? And you would say, absolutely yes.
He'll be my transfer this week.
You are going to bring in Callum Hudson-Odoi. I must admit, I think it's a really nice and shrewd move, because a lot of people are going to be sitting on Abraham and thinking, do I want to double up? So there'll be some that say no to that, but there are some that say yes.
The fixtures are too good.
But those that are doubled up on Mount and Tammy Abraham, I don't think will want the treble up.
Yeah.
So there'll be a ton of people that won't want to go Callum Hudson-Odoi because they've already got Mount. A lot of people won't want to double on Chelsea midfield. So by maybe just holding back on Mount a little bit, you've opened the door potentially to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Do you need to see a bit of form first, or is the assist enough?
No, I mean, I saw him in the League Cup and I thought he was outstanding. I saw him against...
Nice player. He's a very nice player.
I saw him come on and make a big difference in that game against Brighton. I think there is an element of risk that Lampard manages his minutes on his return.
Yeah. So out for a long time, right?
Yeah. But what we've seen this game week is that, he can come on for, what was it, about 30 minutes and get an assist.
Against Brighton at home.
Yes, but the fixtures are great. So I think that there will be regular points for Hudson-Odoi, and I just feel like he's the one, and I said it pre-season, he was the one I wanted, and I was holding my Chelsea spot for him.
Okay.
I'm actually now going to be treble Chelsea'd, but with the fixtures the way that they are, that feels fine.
Could be right, and they've got some nice form. Let's see what you guys are saying about Chelsea in the live chat. Tips is saying, whoa, relax.
No.
On Callum Hudson-Odoi. Give him one more week.
No.
Well, listen, Tips.
Go early,
the
Tips.
art of FPL is finding these players before they bang in a couple of goals, Tips. So
Tips, come on the Hudson-Odoi train with me.
All right, okay, Hudson-Odoi train. Let's have a look at Crackerjack's Superjack. He's got
Crackerjack's Superjack.
I'm never able to just say Crackerjack's Superchat. That's the hardest thing in the world to say. Crackerjack's Superchat. Thank you, Crackerjack, for the Superchat. Crackerjack's Superchat says, Vardy party. Just seen a stat that he's now scored more Premier League goals than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Can't say that either.
In fewer games.
You're gone tonight.
I've gone on the Callum Hudson-Odoi news. In fewer games, 85 goals in 183 appearances versus 84 goals in 196 appearances. What nice stats. And I also noticed, as I was coming on, that actually no player has scored more than Vardy since Brendan Rodgers took over at Leicester. He's got 14 goals. No other player since the day Brendan Rodgers got in has scored more goals than that in the league. So yes, we will absolutely, Crackerjack, be looking at Vardy as an option later on in the show. For now, just like to focus on Chelsea a little bit more, and we've talked about Mount and Abraham and Hudson-Odoi all being really nice options. I couldn't help but notice Marcus Alonso bombing down that left-hand side with gay abandon, as he tends to do, getting into nice positions, and actually could have had a goal or two even, Marcus Alonso. Is he too expensive? I mean, you're on Tomori, so you've obviously gone for the value option. If you didn't have Chelsea defence right now, would you consider Alonso, or is Tomori pretty nailed there?
No, I wrote him out. I had in my discussions this week, it was a straight choice. Do I go Tomori? Do I go Alonso? And for me, Alonso is far, far too expensive, because at 4.5, if Tomori doesn't score, if Tomori doesn't keep a clean sheet, I'm not that bothered. At 6, I think.
Yeah, you want the clean sheets.
I want a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
So I'm all over the Tomori, and I can bench Tomori at 4.5. I don't feel I can bench Alonso at 6.
You'd have to play him, wouldn't you? You'd have to play him. Let's see. Jan Matto is saying Alonso not an option. He's also saying Tomori is the best option to have at Chelsea. Tips, who is a Chelsea fan, is saying Tomori is the Chelsea defender to go for. World class. Lampard said he's first or second choice. He's class. Absolutely. Rushil is in. Rushil is saying, oh my days, we're back to square one with Alonso. Can't believe we're back talking about Marcus Alonso.
You could get him though, because normally when everyone else does get him, you don't. So now everyone else is going for someone else. Why don't you get him?
Well, as Steve Wynyard is quite rightly saying, welcome Steve, he's saying Emerson not out for that long. So if you do get Alonso in, it's a transfer waiting to happen, isn't it? You're going to have to probably get rid of him again.
Steve is 100% right.
When Alonso pops up. Anything else to say about Chelsea? I mean, just for me, just a general point about Chelsea, I think they look really, really nice side. Really, really nice side. They are going to be absolutely there or thereabouts in that top 4. Defensively, still potentially look a little bit suspect. But I think going forward, they create a ton of chances. They look fluid as hell, full of confidence. I think he's building something very nice there, Frank Lampard.
The Lampard effect.
Honestly, I did think this was going to be a very transition year for them, and it is going to be a transition year. There's no doubt.
But this is the time.
But Tammy has come in, and I think we said it in game week 1. It was like, who do you go for? We don't know. We don't know who's number 9. We don't know where the value is in midfield. We don't know who to go for. Now, guys, we've seen enough. Yeah. I think even in the first 6 game weeks, but even now we've seen 7. We've seen enough to know who the number 9 is. It's Tammy. We know where the value is in midfield. It's Mount or Hudson-Odoi if you want to go early doors.
So that was
who didn't come off for Hudson-Odoi. We know where the value is at the back. It's Tomori. Or if you want a punt, it's the Emersons and Alonsos. We know much more about Chelsea. And with the fixtures coming up, I think the double up is absolutely on for Chelsea.
I'm happy to go all in. I'm going treble Chelsea and I'm on it.
I think there is absolutely a case for that. I can see it. Let's go to the luckiest team of the weekend, Liverpool, away at Sheffield United. What an interesting game. Obviously, you were travelling on your way to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at the weekend.
I watched the last 20 minutes in Spurs
You saw
Stadium.
The last little bit of the game. I watched the game obviously all the way through. I thought Liverpool were lucky. I don't think Sheffield United are going to have any worries this season if they continue to play like that. Full of heart, full of spirit, very, very good.
Depends if the manager keeps having a pop at the keeper, bless his heart.
Well, he did go in a little bit, didn't he? He did go in a little bit on poor old Dean Henderson.
Well.
But I don't know, maybe...
Love him.
You know, he's not his player. He's on loan from Man United, isn't he? And the
he's going to blame Ollie Solskjaer as well.
The manager kind of came out and said, if he wants to play for Man U, if he wants to play for England, obviously this guy Henderson has got aspirations. He's got aspirations to be, one of the best in the country. He cannot make mistakes like that. It was a big mistake. I genuinely don't know what's going through his head there. I mean, for me, it felt like he thought he was going to just scoop it up, and he was already thinking about where he was going to distribute the ball, I think. Because Sheffield United had a nice bit of momentum in the game at that stage, and I think he wanted to keep that momentum going. And instead of focusing on actually just saving it, he was thinking about where he was going to throw it, and before he knew it, it's through his legs and it's done. And
maybe
Liverpool
he's been
get the win.
watching Hugo, or maybe Hugo watched him.
It was a weird weekend for goalkeeping flaps, wasn't it, to be fair? It was very, very odd.
We'll bet we'll see one tomorrow night as well.
What with the Norwich second choice keeper getting subbed and, their third choice sort of 36-year-old coming on, and then the Fabianski injury. Weird weekend for keepers, wasn't it? Very, very weird. But nevertheless, a good battle, a real battle. Liverpool properly had to grind it out. You're a Salah owner. I'm a Salah owner.
Yeah.
How worried are you about Mo now? Let's address the question that's in the poll. Salah out or keep Salah? What are you thinking?
No.
You're still on him. You're still okay. Well, no away goals so far this season. And to be honest, Sam, I know you didn't watch the game. He looked right off it at the weekend. Right off it. Giving the ball away a lot. Missed a one-on-one where, to be fair to Dean Henderson, really made up for the mistake earlier in the game.
Okay.
But he didn't look at all like Mo Salah. And if he'd have played in the League Cup or we're playing Champions League in midweek, then okay, you maybe forgive him and say he's a bit leggy or whatever. But we played the kids against MK Dons, so you'd expect the Salahs and Manes to come in and play really well. And to be fair to Mane, he did all right, got in some nice positions, he fluffed a couple of chances. On another day, he gets a couple of goals. But Salah just didn't look right for me. He didn't look right. And for the first time ever, guys, this season, I am considering Salah out.
No.
I am considering it.
No.
Because I'm looking at the fixtures over the next 3 to 4 to 5 game weeks and thinking, where would I captain Salah in that? Liverpool have got Spurs, we've got Man U, we've got some very, very difficult games there.
Hugo flap.
Say it again.
Hugo will flap. Who else you got? Man United.
Well,
they can't defend. Who else you got?
Well, listen, I don't think I am going to sell Salah, but for the first time this season, I am wobbling. I'll be honest, I'm wobbling. Get in the comments, guys. Get in the live chat. Tell us, are you wobbling on Salah? Josh Oram is saying keep Salah. Yeah. Billy Hadaway, you cannot drop Salah.
No, you can't.
You're obviously on that.
No, because over the course of this season, Salah will be up there for the Golden Boot. Absolutely no question in my mind that Salah is he's a season keeper. The only time I would ever even think about losing Salah is if Mane is performing at the same level as him consistently, and then I'll save $1 million and drop down to Mane. But that is the only way that I would lose Salah from my team, because he will be there or thereabouts. He's had like one blank, or he blanked in the Southampton game, so we've had 2 blanks. And it's like, get off it. No.
But the way that City are scoring goals right now, this is the most goals a team has ever scored after 7 game weeks.
Yes, but who am I going to get? Sterling?
Well, listen, if you've got Aguero or Sterling or KDB, and if you were to get Salah out, you're going to be bringing in another premium, so it's going to be one of those 3, or it's going to be Aubameyang or Kane if you want to go Kane. I mean, I must admit, if I was thinking about Salah out, it would be to bring in Aubameyang. And Aubameyang right now looks bang on form with those fixtures. He is captainable in those fixtures. And right now, I don't feel like I would put the armband on Salah. Liverpool are at home to Leicester next week. Would you put the captain's armband on Salah? I'm not sure you would.
Well, I don't think I'll move the captain's armband off KDB, is the God's honest truth. But I do think that Salah is captainable against Leicester at home. I absolutely do, okay. Yeah.
All right, interesting. Steve Wynyard is in, says in a super chat, thank you, Steve. I'm a United fan. I've got more faith in Salah than Lee. Listen, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying that Salah's a bad pick or anything like that. I just it was got to the end of that game against Sheffield United, and it's the first time I've just thought, yeah, I just had a little wobble. I'm keeping him, but I had a little wobble. And I must admit, I'm wobbling on a couple of my big hitters at the minute. Sterling in particular, we'll come to him a bit later on. Lucky to get that goal a little bit. Lucky, he was a bit on the periphery of that game too. But nevertheless, I'm going to keep Salah for the Leicester City at home game. But if we don't get a performance in that game, who knows? Who knows?
Spurs and Liverpool, that's always high score in that game.
Tendai Horton, Salah out is just insane, he says. Yeah, Ariaman 18, Salah, hat-trick next week, Lee. What are you talking about? Salah was bad against Chelsea too, though. Sterling was shambolic, Vaz98 is saying. Well, listen, let's move on from Sheffield United, Liverpool.
Sterling was shambolic.
I don't think we don't need to say too much about Sheffield United other than Lundstram, again, looked really nice. I mean,
I'm still really happy with my double up. Right? I'm still really happy with that.
Henderson and Lundstram?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
That. I think you'd take that. Let's have a... Oh, my goodness me. I've clicked on draft. This is... it's all gone wrong.
Where are we going?
Gone wrong. Wow. Here we go. Right. Let's go and talk about Sterling then and his teammates in that I thought it was a fantastic game, by the way. Everton versus Man City. Brilliant game. Both teams going for it. Everton clearly had smelt what Norwich were doing at Carrow Road. They smelt a little bit like it was, but we're going to get at them, and if we can, we'll have some joy here. And I think they had a plan to really hit the counter attack, go for the pace, which instantly died in the first minute when Walcott went off and Iwobi had to come on, because Iwobi has got a bit of pace, but he's a totally different player to Walcott, right? So the game plan had to change a little bit. So then, Man City were, I thought, that a little bit. Not on the ropes, but the game was pretty average. It was pretty even. Yeah. And then KDB does what KDB does and puts it on an absolute platter for Jesus. It's the best. It's a tap-in of a header for Jesus because the delivery is so good from KDB. But then Everton come back in the game. It was topsy-turvy. Mahrez in particular, I thought, had a very good game. Really took the game by the scruff of the neck in a very... unlike Mahrez sort of way. We don't often see that sort of character from Mahrez. Sometimes he drifts through games a little bit.
He wants to prove a point.
Well, listen, tell me
Mahrez
about...
Mahrez is always the same.
What do you think about this Mahrez and Bernardo Silva conundrum then? I don't know whether maybe Pep didn't play Bernardo Silva this game week to take him out of the limelight a little bit, given the tweet and what happened in the week. Maybe he thought, well, I don't think it's a punishment necessarily, but maybe he just thought, I'm going to take Bernardo just out of this game, just bench him. I'll give him a rest or just take him out of the limelight. And maybe Mahrez saw that as, listen, this is my chance. What was your thoughts on the game?
Well, I think equally, Pep knows that nobody's really going to pay much attention to what he's doing with Bernardo Silva when he benches Aguero. Like, that's always going to be the news,
that's
isn't
the
it?
Headline, isn't it?
So, Aguero's bench. Nobody's really thinking about what's going on with Bernardo Silva, and you put Mahrez in. So it's not like you're not.
Do you know what? Even that was interesting that he managed to. It's the cat wrecking the place. That was interesting that he benched Aguero as well because
why? It was coming. I said that last week as well.
I know, but I know it was interesting that he did it in a week where Jesus had come out and publicly said, I'm a bit annoyed about not getting game time, and I feel like I should be in this first team now. And to be fair to Jesus, he took his chance. I wouldn't say he necessarily had a great game, Jesus, but he took his chance, and score. That's what he's there to do, score goals. But if you were an Aguero owner, would you? I think you've got to be concerned in the same way that you had to be concerned earlier in the season, didn't you? That he was always going to share this game time with Jesus. And in previous game weeks, we've seen that actually doesn't matter because he comes on and gets the goals. But there's always going to be that thing about if you're an Aguero owner, how do you feel about this weekend? Are you really upset, or are you just sucking it up because it is what it is? You're going to get that with Aguero.
No, this is why I won't own Aguero, because it would really annoy me.
Yeah.
And I would be annoyed when he got benched. Now, I was annoyed when KDB got benched, but I wasn't furious because at the price I bought him at, it's kind of like I've got other captainable options. If I own Aguero, he is my one premium striker.
Yeah.
I am not going to deal well with him getting benched. Kane's not going to get benched. Unlikely Aubameyang's going to get benched. So I'll go with one of them because I just know it's really going to irritate me. So I can't do it. And I do... Pep, all right, sometimes he trolls us and he benches people when we're not expecting it. But a lot of the time, he does give us a hint that this is coming. And he said quite a few times now that he wants them to share minutes. He likes Jesus. He wants to give him game time. So it's going to happen. Whether that's that they share, Aguero does 60 minutes and Jesus comes on for 30 or vice versa, it will happen. And I cannot be part of it.
He's still come on and got an assist, though.
But
he only played a few minutes.
Yes. And that is the positive about Aguero, and you're likely to get that out of him because he is that type of player. But I just, from a fantasy point of view, I cannot spend that much money on a player that I know at points is going to be a rotation risk. So for me, I'm out on Aguero, but I understand why people are still on him because he is performing really well. So it's difficult to get off of him because, like you say, he's only got 30 minutes or whatever he got, and he's still got an assist. Okay,
Pedrosa is in this evening. Pedrosa, thank you for the comment. With City rotation, is Pep prioritising the Champions League, do you think? Well, possibly.
Maybe.
Possibly, but listen, I think you're always going to get that. I mean, it was the Sterling owners that got hit last week. It's the Aguero owners that got hit this game week. In game week 5, it was the KDB owners. So listen, as we always say, pick them, stick with them, and you'll not go far wrong. KDB though is a must-have, isn't he?
Yes.
I'm very happy to now call KDB essential, aren't you? I think you got.
I think he's been essential for a few weeks now.
He is sensational.
And I think
there's no doubt about it.
I think it's worth noting that I only moved my captain's armband off KDB this week because I was going to Spurs and I like to have my armband on a player that I'm going to watch. So it went to Kane this week, which was fine. KDB would have been a better captain option, but I think KDB is captainable every single week at the moment, the way it's going.
Okay. And Zinchenko, Jan Matto is saying, what about Zinchenko then? So you've made the sideward move to Otamendi, which feels a lot safer than Zinchenko. If you were still on Zinchenko, if the guys are still on Zinchenko, how are we feeling about that? He got obviously some game time at the weekend, but the looming threat of Mendy is there, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's why I got off of him, because I think he and Angelino as well, there's just that... It's too much. It's too questionable, that position at the moment, in terms of minutes and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, for me, I decided to jump ship. Do you know what? I'm still not all about Man City defence. I'm still not sure I really wanted Otamendi. I kind of did it because everyone else had one, and I kind of thought it was a bit of a risk to...
They will concede because teams now, I think, know that they can score goals.
Yeah.
Everton, I thought, were pretty impressive in that game, and they were a bit unlucky to concede 3, I thought, in reality, because the Mahrez free kick, Pickford's got to save that for a start.
Yeah.
And the third one, Raheem Sterling just creeps over the line, doesn't it? On another day, that game could have gone a bit differently.
I also think that with Otamendi and Zinchenko, Otamendi does give you more in the way of attacking potential, and that's why I felt like I was sort of all right with going forward, because we know that Man City like to go forward. We know that in the same way I was talking about Toby, that Otamendi will do that. So he seems like a better pick to me than Zinchenko, and he's less of a risk of rotation.
Very good, very good. All right, couple more games to cover. Let's talk about Leicester then, because game week 9, after the Liverpool game at Anfield for Leicester, which is in game week 8, game week 9, their fixtures take a turn for the significant better, as we've been saying for a few weeks. And I think you will want one or two, actually, potentially even three, the way that Leicester are playing right now. Tell me, you're not on Soyuncu right now, so I was very happy to get the 6 from Soyuncu this game week. He represents fantastic value, in my opinion, at 4.5 in that Leicester defence.
Yes.
However, there are other Leicester City defenders that are making a case for themselves, not least Ricardo Pereira, who scored a beauty of a goal today. Now, he is going to cost you a cool 1.5 million more at 6 million in the game. If you were thinking about getting on Leicester defence, which I guess knowing you probably are, ahead of game week 9, where would you go? Value pick Soyuncu, or are you going to pay a bit of a premium for that Pereira goal threat, which is significant, that goal threat?
And this is actually this is the one bit I'm still wobbling on. I don't know. I feel like over the last 7 game weeks, over the last 7 game weeks, my only red arrow has come on a week where I played 4 defenders.
Yeah.
If I play 3 defenders, it's gone well.
Okay.
So that is my strategy. Fine. If I own a 6 million Leicester...
I can't turn my phone off.
If I own a 6 million
It's done.
Leicester defender...
I'll set you off.
Yeah. If I own a 6 million Leicester defender, I feel like I have to play them.
Right.
If I own a 4.5 million Leicester defender,
feel like you can
I feel
bench
like
them.
I can bench them.
And you've already got Tomori, who you feel like you can bench.
Yes.
So what would your defence look like? It would be Trent Otamendi, Tomori. You've got Lundstram.
Lundstram and Diop.
And Diop. So would you consider Diop out for Soyuncu then? Is that what you're thinking?
Maybe.
Or who else might get the chop? Otamendi, by the sounds of it. You're not convinced.
I'm not. I mean, but you know what happened last season when I took Edison out after they annoyed me, and he went on a run of keeping clean sheets for about a lifetime. So yeah, I don't know yet, but I feel like not owning a Leicester defender this week did harm my rank. So I feel like from game week 9 it is pretty much essential for me to own a Leicester defender. And the way that my strategy is, I feel that it needs to be Soyuncu.
Okay, all right. So listen, I think Leicester very investable after the Liverpool game. I mean, even if you want to go for the Liverpool game, I know Liverpool got the clean sheet against Sheffield United, but up to that game have been conceding sloppy goals, and it's the sort of team that Jamie Vardy historically likes to play, those top teams. So Vardy with the 2 goals today looked very, very good, actually. Yeah. Really, really good. And as we've said before, that team is set up to get Vardy goals, no doubt about it. So what's your view on Vardy, and how, given that you've got Kane, you'd have to go then 2 premiums. If you put Vardy in that premium bracket, how are you feeling about bringing Vardy in for game week 9? Is that in your thoughts? Okay, yeah. So what's the rejigging of your team? What would that look like?
I've got money in the bank.
You've got money. You've always got money squirreled away, you. Always money squirreled away. Go on. So what are you thinking? Who would make way in that front line? Because you've got Kane, Pukki and Abraham, which I think is a nice front three.
So do I. The Pukki party might end.
The Pukki party might be over.
Because if I'm bringing in Hudson-Odoi, which I am, that's going to free up a bit more money, and that means I can go Pukki to Vardy with the money in the bank.
Hudson-Odoi and then Pukki to Vardy. Okay, interesting. You're not. I can tell you're not convinced about that.
I don't know how I feel about losing Pukki. That's the first point to make. I don't know how I feel about double premium up top. I would rather go for a Leicester midfielder.
Okay.
I wish Vardy was listed as a midfielder, is basically what I'm saying.
Madison's going to be fit?
Madison will be fit. I really do.
Tielemans looked really nice today.
I do like Tielemans.
Is he FPL worthy though? I mean,
I don't know.
I just want to double check this. Yeah, no involvement for Tielemans in 5 goals today. Lovely player, but FPL?
I don't know. I really like him though.
Okay.
Perez did get something today, but can I go back there? Don't think so. Don't think I want to go back there. So I think it's potentially Madison. But if we remember last season, Madison badly trolled me last season. And I don't know if I trust him.
Well, look, let's not forget that Newcastle were absolutely shocking
I want
today.
to see Leicester against...
Absolutely shocking.
Yes, and I think that's the thing. I would like to see Leicester properly against you next week, because Newcastle were dreadful, and I would like to watch them against a decent side because I think whoever comes up in that game will be a good one.
Okay, that's 2 games on the spin I've watched Newcastle now, and I'm not getting that time of my life back. I mean, I've watched them against Brighton. It was a terrible game.
And what was that stat?
Newcastle, terrible again.
5 shots on target, 5 goals.
So Leicester only had 5 shots on target, I think.
5
scored
goals.
all of them. So and on at least one occasion, Dubravka's got to do better. He's got to do better. I mean, they just were not good. They were not good.
When did Newcastle play Watford? That'd be funny.
Don't know. Let's pick a couple more games to talk about. We haven't got too long to talk about Palace versus Norwich, other than to say Zaha, I thought, was absolutely on one. I don't know what he had for breakfast. He'd obviously doubled up on his Weetabix because he, for the first time this season, looked like a proper FPL asset, the Zaha of old. Norwich have got this real weird, we're great at home and terrible away thing right now, where it's a bit of a roller coaster. If I was on double Norwich on Cantwell and Pukki, I'd be a bit concerned about that. Nevertheless,
They're cheap though. Do you care?
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. And if they go away from home, then you can bench Cantwell and not worry too much, can you? I mean, Pukki, nothing this game week. They're home again next game week, so I don't think the Pukki party's going to end for me. I think I'm going to keep him for now. But eyes on him. They do need a performance out somewhere.
There was a question about Zaha in the chat. Yes, he was great this week,
Zaha,
but I won't get on him yet because it's 1 week out of 7.
Yeah.
This is the first time Zaha's shown anything this season, so for me, it's definitely still a watch and wait.
Absolutely. It was good though. It was good. Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2 was a game that I was actually worried about coming into this game week because I had nobody from Bournemouth and I had nobody from West Ham. So I was coming into this game week thinking, there's goals in that. Yeah. And not only is there goals in that, but there's lots of FPL assets that I haven't got, like Allaire and Lanzini.
Callum Wilson.
Yarmolenko was kind of gathering momentum in the FPL community. Wilson King, of course. And even Ake. For goodness sake, Ake with an assist and popped up with an assist to go with his goal from last week.
Didn't he have a goal ruled out as well?
Yes, he did have a goal ruled out for VAR. So Ake now, should we be considering him as a serious threat from set pieces? Maybe we should. So listen, lots of goals in that game as expected. I was kind of hoping for a 0-0 or a 1-1 with some random goal scorers, but it was not meant to be. Yarmolenko, as I just mentioned, gathering a lot of pace in terms of popularity within the FPL community.
Lovely.
West Ham's fixtures look very, very nice indeed. I know you're on Lanzini, but if you had a clean slate for West Ham,
I'd go Yarmolenko at the moment.
I think that's where I'd go as well.
But last season, Yarmolenko was the one again, but then he got injured and it tapered. Obviously, it tapered out for the others for a little while too. But Yarmolenko is an absolutely outstanding player, and it's hard to say that he's better than Lanzini at the moment because Lanzini didn't start the game. He was injured. I mean, he's made a remarkable recovery from someone that was out for a month and actually only missed one League Cup game and half of this game. So from that point of view, great. So I'm just glad Lanzini's back, I think is my point.
Yes, because there were some reports that he was longer term injured.
Yeah.
So for him to come back, despite the blank in FPL, we'd put hands up and say that's disappointing.
He did only play 20 minutes though, didn't he?
But the point is he's back, so you haven't got to worry about that transfer out now.
Yes.
Would he have been your mate weight for Callum Hudson-Odoi?
Yeah, he still might.
Lanzini for Callum Hudson-Odoi?
I feel really sick about it. It's the only thing, it's my issue, but
well, listen,
sometimes you have to trust your gut, don't you?
Absolutely. Well, Callum Wilson, the Callum Wilson train thunders on.
Could you get him, please? Because if you get Callum Wilson, he'll stop scoring.
Stop. Whenever they're playing Liverpool, I will bring him in. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. If you've got him, guys, if you've stuck with him, if you've had him since game week 1, get in the comments.
Isn't he the only player to return in every game week?
I think so. He's absolutely unstoppable right now, Callum Wilson. So why are we all ignoring him? I don't know.
Because he trolls you.
He is.
That's why you're
absolutely on fire so far. The other player that might make way for you and your intent to get Callum Hudson-Odoi is Aston Villa's John McGinn.
No, he won't ever.
Now, I cannot believe that anybody would think about getting rid of John McGinn because the guy looks absolutely sensational.
That's sacrilege. What are you talking about?
A quick word on maybe Burnley in a second as well, because Barnes is looking a little bit like bit of a dead weight in my team.
You could send him to Vardy.
That's a 3 million I just haven't got, to be honest with you. But McGinn is a player that I really like and I do really want in FPL. He looks most dangerous in that Villa side. You've got Wesley doing the Emil Heskey role. Sorry, Wesley. He's got the Emil Heskey role of just getting it, keeping it, and bringing the other players into play, like Grealish, like McGinn. And McGinn just pops up in the box out of nowhere.
Had one not ruled out?
VAR ruled one out for him, which was nothing to do with him. It was McNeil or wherever it was on the wing was offside. Yeah. So actually, McGinn, very, very hard done by not to get 2 goals this game week. Still absolutely cheap as chips. I assume going nowhere in your team right now.
ever.
He is good, isn't he? He's good, John McGinn.
I don't think I will ever take McGinn out of my fantasy team this season. Genuinely, I called him pre-season and I thought he'd be good, and he has been outstanding all season.
Okay, let's have a quick look at the Aston Villa fixtures, because I've got a feeling they are tough. Norwich away, which is, they can get at Norwich, right? But they possibly concede. But if you've got John McGinn, I think it's a nice game to have him in.
Yeah.
Brighton at home, so the next two look sensational for McGinn. Then it's City and Liverpool, and then Wolves away. So it does get harder in the medium term. But Norwich and then Brighton for John McGinn next. Yeah, look out if you haven't got John McGinn.
But the other lovely thing, he is benchable at his price. So yes, all right, I'll probably play him against Man City, to be honest, because you can get at Man City.
Yeah.
If Alisson's back, I'll probably bench him against Liverpool. But at 5.5, I can bench him.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I thought the fullbacks for Villa looked very good as well. Assist for Gilbert,
Do you
my man
still have
Gilbert.
him?
I still have him, benched him this week.
Oh,
still have him,
Lee.
but benched him. He was first sub. I was willing him to come on, but no, never didn't make
Oh, I
an
bet that
appearance.
really annoyed you as well.
It was, but he only got a 4, so it's like not the end of the world. But no, Villa, I think, look a very nice attacking side. As do Burnley actually at the moment. Burnley and Barnes again put in a good shift and was a very influential player without actually getting any FPL points, which is getting a little bit frustrating for me and the other Barnes owners in FPL. Now listen, he plays Everton next, and Everton are leaking goals left, right and centre. At least 2 goals conceded in their last 5 games, Everton. So going to Turf Moor will be a difficult game for them. I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet there again. So I kind of got to stick with Barnes, haven't I? I can't drop him before Everton at Turf Moor. Can't really do it. But nevertheless, Chris Wood popped up with yet another goal, and also Jay Rodriguez. So all the strikers getting involved, except my man Barnes, who I think has got 3 or 4 games without scoring. Getting a bit hard to take that.
Since you called him on the FPL show.
As soon as I put him in my wildcard team and I put him out there on the FPL show, he's done absolute guff. There it is. It is my fault again. That is all we've got time for on the fixtures. We're going to move on to how our teams got on, Sam. So we're going to move over to here, and this is your team for game week 7. 56 points, which is a very, very nice score indeed. Above average, only just above average, but never mind. It's
12 above average.
It's very much holding its own, that team. Obviously, Man United and Arsenal to come, so that might have a bit of an effect.
That will have a rank drop.
But nevertheless, an overall rank of 5.4 thousand, not 5.4 million. 5.4 thousand, an absolutely sensational overall rank. So
it was better yesterday.
It was better yesterday. I mean, the Leicester clean sheet, I think a few people have got
cost
soon
me
to and what
2k.
have you. Yeah, okay. Well, never mind.
Cost me 2k that game today. But to be honest, I was expecting worse. When Leicester won 5-0 and I looked at my rank, I was expecting worse than a 2k rank drop.
A couple of goals for Vardy, etc. Yeah, so talk us through your team.
I'm really happy with them. I think, Lanzini, as I said before, I'm just pleased that he played. I'm just pleased that he's fit again because it gives me an option. Transfers this week were decent. Well,
who did you bring in?
Tomori for Digne.
Okay.
So that was good. Otamendi and Zinchenko, well, that was
okay.
Neither here nor there. But I feel better about owning Otamendi than I did about owning Zinchenko. So from that point of view, it was worth doing.
So what have you done with that? So that money's sitting in the bank, the Digne to Tomori. That's sitting in the bank ready for...
Vardy.
Ready for Vardy. Okay, you always got a plan.
Of course I've got a plan.
Brilliant.
Well, of course I've got a plan. I think, what one thing that's been really interesting, somebody asked me the other day if I could post pictures of my teams through time for the last few game weeks, which I did. I posted them on my Instagram squares. So if you haven't seen it, go and have a look. And what was really interesting to me is how I'd only made, up until this game week, 4 transfers over the course of the first 6 weeks. I've been doing that hold, so that I've got 2 free transfers every other week. And it's been working really nicely. So I think they've been really good. And I don't feel like that there's any need to wildcard anytime soon. I think
the team looks sensational.
The team's
it's in great shape.
My original plan was to wildcard at the next international break. But I'm looking at that team and
definitely doesn't need a wild card.
It's not going to need it in a couple of game weeks' time. So that might be rolling up till sort of nearer Christmas before that happens. But yeah, I'm really pleased with them. There were some players in there that were really unlucky. John McGinn could have done more than he did.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nice to have a clean sheet out of Liverpool this week. That was positive. Wrong keeper decision. Captain's armband went with Kane, and I was happy with that because he did really well. Disappointed with my other 2 strikers with Pukki and Abraham, but I think we've already said, Abraham could have done better, and Pukki, he was away, so he never does very well when he's away from home. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy. And at 4.5k, that's a 3k rank rise from last game week. I was at 8.4 at the end of last week. So to go up
Very
3k,
good.
all right, I'm going to lose a bit tomorrow. If Aubameyang doesn't do anything, then I won't lose as much.
I genuinely looking at that and thinking, how would I improve it? And I think it's really nice. I would say maybe a bit of Arsenal, but again, who do you trust with Arsenal? It's only really Aubameyang, and you've got to do surgery to bring him in. Or a bit of Leicester, but actually a bit of Leicester, you've got 2 weeks to figure that out.
Yeah.
So in reality...
There will be Leicester for game week 9, for sure.
Yeah, but no, very, very good indeed. 56 points, an overall rank of 5.4. We are expecting that to drop a little bit on the back of Man United and Arsenal, depending on what happens, of course. But
as long as it stays within the 8 that I was at the beginning of the game week, I'll still be pleased.
I think it's very, very good indeed, yeah. Andrew Yee is in the live chat. He's saying, I reckon Sam may secretly be Norwegian. Because Norwegians are so good at FPL. Are you secret Norwegian? No,
but I'm telling you something... There's definitely something in the not planning for game week 1 and planning for game weeks 2, 3 and 4, because that is how I've ended up here. Okay. Because this never happens.
Very good. All right. Well, listen, 5.4 is sensational in a season where, frankly, even the top managers are struggling in the millions, right? 5.4, absolutely brilliant rank. I'm very happy with my rank as well, 119k. I think is a solid position to be right now. Solid, very happy with that. 51 points this week.
Is that green?
That is a tiny, tiny green. I was at 128k before, so I've gone up about 9k. So
nothing wrong with that.
That's pretty average. I'll probably slip down to pretty much where I was after Man U and Arsenal, unless it's a goal fest and there's tons of goals for like Aubameyang and James and all those people. But
this it's a 0-0 draw. No one owns the defenders.
Well, no, I think Manchester United defence is quite heavily owned because it's just Man United defence. What that game needs to be is 1-0 Xhaka or something, right? It just needs to be just a non-event from an FPL perspective. But nevertheless, 51 is pretty much bang on average this game week. So my overall rank has kind of stayed... Is it 44 average?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm all right, above average. I'll take it. Overall rank 119k.
Way above average, darling.
Thank you very much, dear. That's very kind of you. I think, to be honest with you... Were it not for the Sterling goal creeping over the line, and it really did creep over the line. I was annoyed about
that. It annoyed me.
Yeah, I think you're right to be, because if that hadn't happened, you're talking about the top 3 captains getting absolutely nothing, because I think Aguero got the assist for that goal, didn't he?
Yes.
So it would have been a Salah, a Sterling, and an Aguero blank if that goal is slightly just doesn't go over the line.
Yeah.
And then your Kane captain, your Kane captain coming in is looking sensational. As it is, it's still looking amazing, but it's not looking as amazing it could have done because Sterling got the goal and got the 7 points and for 14 points for his captainers. So that creeping over the line sort of saved my game week a little bit. De Bruyne obviously chipped in, as De Bruyne tends to do. Mason Mount as one of my transfers in for this game week. Happy with the 6. Could have had more Mount. Could have had more, and I'm very happy to have him. Soyuncu, I was pretty much banking on that at home to Newcastle. I didn't see Newcastle scoring, so pretty happy to have him. And of course, Trent chipped in as well with his 6. Outside of that, though, there's not a lot going on. That front line, as you guys can see, Abraham, Pukki and Barnes, 2, 2 and 1, absolutely dire. Yeah. However, Tammy Abraham could have had a hatful.
Yeah,
Pukki's at home next week and Barnes is playing home to Everton. So I doubt if I'm going to change it, guys. And I'm looking at probably rolling my transfer again, because I look at that team and I just think, again, that is a team that could do well again next week. Yeah. The only player I think I'm really missing, and the one and apart from Aubameyang, who I've always every week say that I want, given that the fixture's coming up, and now Vardy's on my radar as well. But John McGinn, I do want John McGinn. Every time I see him, the guy looks hungry for goals.
You can't have him because you'll jinx him.
I've had him and I transferred him out.
Why? You're an absolute loon.
Well, I did have him, and then I got rid of him on my wildcard because I wanted to save some money. But then Donker to McGinn, I need to find £1 million to make that happen, I think. I don't know where I'm going to find it, but
that's why you want to get rid of Salah, isn't it? You want to do Salah to Mane.
Salah to Mane to do McGinn. Listen, stranger things have happened. But 51 points, 119k overall rank. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. Reasonably happy. Let's have a look at the live chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. Lee, take the spoon trophy, Ariaman is saying already. You've got no chance of catching Sam. No chance. Leave McGinn alone, Lee. Kunkaran is saying.
Yeah, I know.
Don't jinx it, as a few of you were saying when we were discussing Callum Wilson earlier today. Thanks, guys. Good to know you've got my back. Let's have a quick look at the Manager of the Month for September. The Patreon League Manager of the Month is all but over, guys. It's all but over. Jason Ryan, we are pretty sure, unless Mason Greenwood bags about 6 or 7 goals tomorrow night, Jason Ryan is going to pick up the Manager of the Month for September. So very well done to Jason.
I have to buy an Arsenal present.
We can't say congratulations yet because you never know what's going to happen in that game. But
no, we don't.
Denville has got just Greenwood to play. Has got like over a 15-point gap there to make up between himself and Jason. So unless Greenwood does an absolute madness, and let's face it, against the Arsenal defence, could happen. 6 or 7 goals. I'm just saying.
What's he got to get? 15?
Just almost 20. Almost 20, something like that. So unless Greenwood does a madness, Jason Ryan is going to be our Manager of the Month, our Patreon Manager of the Month for September. So congratulations in brackets to Jason. We will formally announce it on Twitter and Instagram over the course of the week or at the end of the game tomorrow, assuming Greenwood doesn't get his 6 goals. We will formally announce it on Twitter. Jason, we know where you are. Come talk to us. We will hook you up with your prize from our sponsors, kickingtheballs.com. Signed shirts, signed memorabilia, signed street football signs, loads of good stuff. If you haven't checked out kickingtheballs.com, 2 S's on balls, all the links are in the description below. Go check them out. Some really, really great signed merchandise all over their website. And we'll be doing it all over again, Sam. All over again in October. So if you are a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/FPLFamily. Links in the description below as always. Head over to our site, come support us, and you can take part in our October Manager of the Month. The league code is live, guys. It's live. So if you're already a Patreon, get over to the post, sponsor us, help support us. You can unlock the post, get the mini league code, and get into the October Manager of the Month. It's already live. It's already going on. So congratulations to Jason.
That must be a short one as well because it's an international break.
It's only another 3-game weeker one. Ooh, it's another one with only 3 game weeks.
I like the 3 game weeks because it's always really tight.
Well, listen, it was all to play for.
Yeah, it was
this
always
morning
really
even,
tight.
right? Or on the beginning of this game week. All to play for with only about 10 points going into this game week.
Yeah.
But Jason's had a very nice game week and has just held off everybody else. We did all right, by the way. 3rd and 4th in that league.
Oh.
Did all right. High five. Good work. Can't win our own prizes, but never mind. Let's see, it's Jason first, Denville second, Marlon in 3rd, me 4th, you 5th. Oh, 4th and 5th. Okay, well, we'll take the high five back. We'll take it back.
No, I think we take 4th and 5th.
We'll take it. Okay, we'll take it.
That's the best we've been.
That's pretty good. Yeah, both of us to be up there.
Yeah, well, I'm taking
Smashing it.
Smashed it.
Absolutely smashing
Absolutely smashed it.
Means nothing, we can't win. But Jason, congratulations. Patreon.com/FPLFamily if you want to go and check out our October Manager of the Month over there. A quick shout out also to anyone that's following us on SoundCloud. We are now on SoundCloud, guys. If you want to listen back to the live stream audio, what I will do on a Monday is I'll take this live stream, I will rip all of the audio out of it, and I will put it onto SoundCloud as a podcast, guys. So if you guys want to listen to FPL Family as a podcast, you absolutely can now do so. Of course, we will not be changing anything about our live streams. We'll, of course, still be here.
Same nonsense.
Sunday at 8 p.m. for all of you guys tuning in. Of course, we will be here. But if during the week you think, actually,
I miss those guys, I want to listen again.
I might want to listen back to that. Might want to listen to sounds and ramblings.
Don't want to watch their faces again.
Don't want to see them. You
don't want to see them.
Don't want to watch that back. Might just want to listen to it.
I would like to hear them on my commute home.
What was that Sam said about Ndombele? What was that Lee said about Wilson and McGinn? Should I get him or should I not? If you want to listen back to us, guys, during the week, you can go over to FPL Family on SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/FPL Family. I also put the links in the description below as ever. So if you get over there, hit that subscribe button over there and you can catch us in podcast format. It is literally just this live stream, but the audio. I haven't got time to edit anything. I can't edit anything out. I just rip in the audio.
Why would you want to edit anything out?
Because it's mostly guff in it on a Sunday night. Let's face it. If I could come up with a quick 30-minute pod of streamlined, really good stuff, then I would.
Just take you out.
Just rip out everything that you say and put it as a podcast. Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Sam. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. As ever. Get off. Last announcement, guys, before we go. It is a busy week for FPL Family, guys. A very busy week for FPL Family.
Whoa.
Well, it's a busy week for me as well, but it's a very busy week for you. You've got FPL FYI. So, guys, if you checked me out with Rambo and James last week on FPL FYI, thank you for doing that. Thank you for going and supporting the video.
You were exceptional on that.
Thanks.
I really enjoyed watching you.
You enjoyed it, did you?
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
I'll tell you what, it is good. It's a very different show to the FPL show. It's a bit more kind of informal, a bit more chatty. So if you've not checked it out, guys, follow the hashtag FPLFYI, or after we finish tonight, head over to the Premier League's YouTube channel, or just search YouTube for FPLFYI and have a look. Look back at some of the videos that have been done in previous game weeks. But in particular, go subscribe to that channel because Sam is on this week coming up in the Game Week 8 preview videos. So you'll be on with James, with Rambo, later this week, filming on Tuesday. It normally releases on a Wednesday. So get over to FPL FYI. Make sure you check out Sam on that. And then on Thursday, you will be in London again for the FPL pod with Mr. James Richardson. And then from London, you are going straight to Uxbridge to meet me for the FPL show. Also with James, are going to have had enough of you by the end of Thursday. So again with James and Jules on the FPL show on Thursday night. So guys, if you haven't had enough of our mugs on YouTube, you will see loads of us on FPL FYI and the FPL show, and indeed on the Fantasy Premier League podcast
I'm sorry
with
about
James.
all of that, everyone.
We do apologise in advance for FPL Family overload in the run-up to Game Week 8, but we will be all over your telly boxes, all over YouTube, and all over your podcasts as well on Spotify, etc, etc.
Wow.
Going to be so much FPL Family going on this week. So much FPL Family.
It's a good job we've had all right weeks, isn't it, really?
It's a good job we've done all right. It's a good job. You're going on FPL FYI on a game week where not only Danny Ings has scored against your team, so you and Rambo will have a lovely little chat about that, but in a game week where you have reached
we gifted him one.
You've reached the upper echelons, nosebleed territory.
Don't forget about the polls.
5.4k. I'm going next, Sam, to the polls before we wrap up. I had forgotten about the polls. You're absolutely right.
I thought
so there
you
we
had.
go.
I felt like there was a rounding up coming on then.
There was. Loads of FPL Family for you over the course of this game week, in the run-up to Game Week 8, with the FPL show, with FPL FYI, and with the Fantasy Premier League podcast on Wednesday and Thursday in the run-up to Game Week 8. So here we go, guys. Let's have a look at the polls. Right. Is this the end, Sam, for King Mo? Mo Salah or no Salah?
Oh,
do you like what I've done there? I've been spending too much time with James. No Salah. 63%. It's quite split. Quite split. 2/3 are agreeing with you. Do not sell Mo Salah. But 36% of you are saying yes.
No.
Time to sell Mo Salah.
Not the Egyptian king.
Best semi-premium midfielder, Sam, other than KDB. That's how I put it. Semi-premium. Best semi-premium midfielder other than KDB. Mahrez, Pepe, Son or Eriksen?
None.
You have to pick one.
Son.
76% going with you. 76%.
Because the others are non-options.
On Heung-min Son. Mahrez at 15%. Pepe at 6%. Eriksen at 0%. I don't set the questions. This is the guys from Twitter want to answer these questions. I don't set the questions, Sam. Best West Ham attacker, Haller, Yarmolenko, Lanzini or Anderson. And do not be biased based on who's in your team.
If we're wiping the slate clean, it's Yarmolenko.
70% of you guys going with Yarmolenko, the real budget option. Lovely budget option. 6.1 now?
Lovely.
Has he had a rise or is he still 6? Don't know. Still a budget, whatever it is.
He's lovely.
70% Yarmolenko, 16% Allaire, who I still like. Say it every week. I do like Allaire. Very, very classy player. 10% Lanzini, 3% only for Felipe Anderson. And is the Pukki party over, Sam? Party on or party pooper?
Party on.
Party on. 66, closer again than I thought. 67% of you saying party on. 32% of you.
No, there's some home games coming up. Some nice home games coming up. Don't get rid of him before a game at home.
You fickle lot. 32% party poopers. 67% party on with Pukki. I have to say, I think I am party on with Pukki. I don't think I'm going to sell him ahead of a run of fixtures that includes a few home games, because at Carrow Road, they are way, way better. Way, way better. Guys, thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you did well in Game Week 7. If you're in the 50s and 60s, absolutely sensational. If you're up in the 70s, goodness me, a fantastic game week. Here's to Game Week 8. Look out for us on pretty much every flipping social media channel you've got going this game week. FPL Show, FPL FYI, and indeed the Fantasy Premier League podcast. Get over to SoundCloud. If you're new to SoundCloud and want to listen back to us during the week in podcast format, FPLFamily.com/ no, that's totally wrong. SoundCloud.com/ FPL Family. Hit that subscribe button before you go. If you're new around here, leave us a like before you go. Well done in Game Week 7. We will see you this time next week, 8 p.m, Sunday night. We'll see you then. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.